Cheating is one of those topics that I've never really talked about here on the channel. In fact, I've purposely avoided talking about cheating because it's a very sensitive topic, and cheating is viewed in academia as breaking the rules, right? When you cheat, you are breaking the rules, you are cheating. It's supposed to be a level playing field. There's 30 students in a class and everyone's supposed to have an equal chance at success in that classroom. And so when you cheat, you're basically breaking that. You're breaking those rules. And that's what you're doing, right? You're breaking the rules in order to get ahead. But in this video, we're not going to talk about whether cheating is okay or it's not okay. We're not going to talk about how to try to stop cheating. We're going to talk about something completely different and something completely shocking that you as a student probably don't know. The shocking truth is that most professors know when you're cheating. They know, right? Most professors know. They know when you're cheating. So even if you cheat and you don't get caught, chances are, I would say 90% chance, your professor actually knows that you're cheating. And a lot of times you'll cheat and nothing will happen. But that doesn't mean that nothing is going to happen in the future, or that if you do it again, you will get away with it again. Because professors know, but there's a reason that nothing happens. And in this video, I want to talk about why. So there's basically 3 reasons that something might not happen to you when you cheat. So the first reason is that the professor thinks you're cheating. They're pretty sure, but they're not 100% sure. Maybe there's a solution on your test that looks like it was, computer generated, but they're not 100% positive, and they don't want to say anything because they don't want to basically accuse you of something that they're not sure of, because they don't want to hurt your grade, damage your reputation. There's lots of consequences for cheating, and we'll talk about those later. But if the professor is not sure, then they're not going to make that allegation. The second reason that you might cheat and actually get away with it and you'll never hear about it is because there's actually processes in place, and this will vary by school. Most universities have a process where if you find a student cheating, you have the option to report this, up the chain to some type of student conduct officer, which then basically calls you in for a one-on-one meeting. They ask you questions, and then this ends up going on your record, I'm pretty sure. So it stays with you forever, which is really, really bad. And so there's a variety of reasons that this process kind of hinders, the reporting of cheating. For one, professors don't really like to get involved in that kind of thing. If you think about it, professors are mainly just people who either just teach or teach and do research. Basically, they're doing their job because they either like the subject or they like helping people, or ideally both, right? They like the subject and they like helping people. They're not really, into teaching so that they can police students and enforce those policies. That's not why people go into teaching, right? That is really not the job of a teacher in my view at all. And I think that a lot of times professors feel overwhelmed when they're put in that position where they have to police the students and they have to enforce these policies. So when a professor sends it up the chain and reports a student, again, they call that student in, and it's a lengthy process. They're going to have to ask the professors questions. Those are things that teachers just don't want to deal with. They would rather spend time going over their notes and thinking of new ways to explain the mean value theorem to students. So these are things that teachers are really not trained to do, and they didn't go into the job with the expectation of having to deal with cheating. So cheating causes a lot of stress for professors in general. And so a lot of times they simply won't report it so that they don't have to deal with those problems. The third reason you might cheat and never hear anything about it is because sometimes schools have a policy where if you find a student cheating, you're required to report it and send it up the chain to some type of student conduct officer. And in that case, it actually does go on your record. And some professors, they just don't want to damage your reputation, right? They feel like, oh, if I report it, then it has to go up the chain and then it's going to go on their record and I'm going to end up hurting this person's future. So some professors actually won't report cheating for that reason alone. So if you do cheat, professor probably does know about it. And honestly, I don't think it's worth cheating. Over the years, I have had countless students cheat, and I have caught a lot of cheaters, a lot. I've had students cheat by putting like a little note card in their calculator, and that was a really interesting experience because the guy was sitting in the front row, and I said, "What are you doing?" And he looks at me and he says, "Nothing." And I said, "Open your calculator." And he pulls out a little note card, and it was just devastating. I was devastated because he was a student who would show up every day to class. He would take notes. He was doing the best he could. He really was. And I took him outside to the hallway and I told him, "Listen, I have to do something here. Everyone in the class knows you're cheating because, I basically called you out in front of the entire class." So I had to give him a 0. And it was the final exam. I mean, I'm telling this story now and I just feel bad for the guy. I don't know what happened to him. Cheating is not right, but you can see how it causes friction for both students and professors. This is a student who probably was not cheating on the previous tests. I don't know, maybe he was, but at least I do know that he was trying, right? He was asking questions in class, he was participating, and apparently on the test, he was trying to cheat. And not very successfully. He actually never really had a great grade on any of the tests. And then now he has a 0 on the final. So it's just a loser's game, it feels like. I've had another instance where a student was cheating and she actually had all of her notes on her desk under her test. I called her out in the classroom, took her out to the hallway. She tried to justify it. That was a really, really weird experience. If you've gotten anything from this video, in my opinion, it should be that cheating is not worth it. I always think it's better to do things the right way and fail than to cheat and try to beat the system. And I try to apply this to everything in life, not just academics. Cheating is not worth it. And you can say it's not worth it for a lot of reasons, but I think a big reason that everyone can agree on, even people who think cheating is okay sometimes, because there are people like that, it's that if you get caught, there can be severe consequences, and those consequences can follow you for a very long time. And those consequences often depend on the professor you have, the policies at the school that you're attending, and how bad the cheating was. So all of those factors come into play when it comes time to, feel the wrath of being caught cheating. It's not a pleasant experience for anyone. What do you think about cheating? Do you think people shouldn't cheat? If so, why? Do you think cheating is okay sometimes? Why do you think people cheat? How do we stop cheating? That's a whole nother discussion. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Good luck and take care.